Welcome to Utah Stories, Travel and Adventure segment. We just started this new segment last week where we talked about Moab, Utah, and the amazing playground that place is. I've been visiting Moab for the last 12 years now. It's one of these places where, there's Canyonlands and Arches National Park there, and a lot of people, luckily, now this is good, and don't let this get out there, but I'm telling you, our local audience, they stay in the parks, and I'm so glad they do, because most of the cool stuff we visit in Moab is not inside the parks, where you have to pay the $20 to get in and wait in line in your car. The coolest stuff in Moab, in my opinion, is outside of the parks, where you don't have to pay the money, you don't have to wait in line. And so in this segment, I'm going to tell you how I do Moab with my dogs and how to dine in Moab. Moab's little town is really cool. We've been going there like with our dogs for I think it's been as long as I've been visiting Moab since we started the section in Utah Stories magazine. We started our Moab section in the magazine 12 years ago. I believe it's 12 years ago. And it's one of these places where it's a real walkable community. You can just walk this street, and if you stay in a place like Moab Rustic Inn, you can stay there, walk right to where you want to go eat, whether it's the Cactus Jacks or it's the brewery. But I want to tell you about how I do Moab with my dogs. So we go down there, and our favorite trails by far are the bar trails, which I'm going to show you right now on the screen. These bar trails put you into a Mars-like landscape where it's this vast expanse of space. And off in the distance, you see I believe it's the landscape arch that's inside of the park. And you look off again, and you can see the La Salle Mountains, which is an incredible landscape. And we just go hike for miles out there, and we basically take a little bit of water. We take the dogs. It's the cool thing about it is you don't need water for your dogs generally, because there's all these little pools where your dogs can lap up some water on the way there. And we've been taking Joey and Scamps there their whole life. They always get super excited when we go. There's a place in town called the Moab Brewery, and has all these like specialty dog treats. We just did a podcast with Ma and Pa's Dogs Meow, and we're want to support the local economy there. So we really enjoy like the aspect that we can go on these long hikes in the desert with our dogs. There's places they can get water along the way. The other trail we really like to do is the Poison Spider Trail. And to get there, you go through off Wall Street, which is the big canyon where everybody is rock climbing. You see all these rock climbers on the walls. And then you go down to the end of the trail, and you turn off, and you can get on to Poison Spider, where there's a lot of rock crawlers and jeeps. But usually during the middle of the day, I find they're not there, and you can walk your dogs through there. There's no problem whatsoever. And it's just an amazing, awesome trail. And we did a new trail that we had never actually done before. And I'm going to show you some footage from that trail where it's got these big pools that the dogs can actually swim in. And so when you go into the Jeep Arch Trail, there's all these pools full of water that your dogs can actually swim in. And you can walk along railroad tracks, the railroad tracks there for a while. That's off the trail. We actually didn't make it to the arch. We went down the canyon further and followed that canyon. And our dogs are older, but they're really pretty agile. They like to jump and around rocks and get up on stuff. So if that's not your dog, probably that's not the best trail for you. I would stick to Poison Spider. But it's an amazing trail that we just discovered. The other ones that I'd like to go to are Moonflower Canyon. That one's been discovered more. That's off Cane Creek Road. And you go down a couple little switchbacks to get to that. That's also full of water and a little stream. Kind of a little more off the beaten path. And the other one that's more populated, that's definitely busier and a little tougher with dogs, is Grandstaff. It used to be called Negro Bill Canyon. Now they call it Grandstaff Canyon. And it's a really wet trail if you definitely don't want to be there if it's raining or could rain, because that's one that gets hit with flash floods. It's a narrow canyon that leads to a box canyon, and it's that one is probably about 2 to 3 miles each way, so you got to be ready for a longer hike. But the dogs absolutely love that one because there's water, there's a stream that goes through that one the entire way, and it's on the way up to Castle Creek and the Castle Creek area. And so yeah, those are a few hikes I would highly recommend you go on with your dogs. And now I want to talk a little bit about the dining scene in Moab. I'm going to talk mostly just about the brewery, the Moab Brewery. It's been around for 15 years. They were a sponsor of the Moab half marathon that I did 3 times. And at the end of that marathon, you get to enjoy a wonderful array of awesome beers that makes that marathon the best, in my opinion. But the Moab Brewery has a great selection of fresh, locally crafted beers, and they have a great selection of food. It's just a staple there in town. I absolutely love it. Two other favorites of ours are Thai Bella. It's really exceptional Thai food, and it's actually a lot better than a lot of the Thai foods we have here, Thai food restaurants we have here in Salt Lake City, and it's just excellent food. And the other one is Meek Wells, Mexican food. It's just these great burritos, really excellent margaritas. Chips and salsa are excellent. I can highly recommend it. Another favorite is Proper Burger. That's fairly new, and we love it. So you can't go wrong. There's Anticaforma, there's Canyon Pizza, there's Cactus Jack's we love. There's the breakfast in jail place we wrote about in Utah Stories. There's just a lot of great dining options. And I want to play for you now a visitor I talked to on the trail while we were down in Moab who describes what he likes about Moab. I'm going to play that clip for you now. You guys all from?
Well, me and my wife's from Waco, Texas, and
we're from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Cool.
South.
Your first time to Moab?
Second time.
First for me. Fourth time for me.
And what brings you this far away from where you live to come here?
Number one, the people in the town, they're really friendly towards ATV and trail riders, plus the scenery, plus the trails. It's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So we've been to Arkansas, I've been to California. This is probably my number one spot.
Absolutely. Trails that are here are absolutely amazing. I absolutely love the scenery. There's so many different types of trails that you can go on to. We went to Chicken Corners. That was scenic, was absolutely phenomenal, and this trail right here was amazing. Yeah.
And you brought your own machines?
Yes. Brought our own machines, yes sir.
Yeah. So this is like your main recreational activity?
Yeah, I used to race mountain bikes and ride mountain bikes, so I've ridden the whole enchilada stuff like that. That was work. This is fun.
That's great.
So
what would you recommend people do if it's a first time coming to Moab?
Fins. Fins and Things is awesome. It's a family. We got another couple here with us. It's got a 2-year-old and it's got a 9-year-old, and they loved it. And he was on just a regular Polaris Ranger, and it's a trail you could do on mostly anything. And that, and one of our next favorite trails was we did that ride up to the Chicken Corners. And this one right here, you can bring your family. There's nothing, you just got to be careful, but it's awesome views.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to do this again right now. I want to turn around and do it again right now.
You just did it. So Hell's Revenge is
Hell's
good.
Revenge.
Yeah.
It's not as it's enjoyable. The everything we read made it sound more scary than it was. It wasn't as scary as I thought. So I would have no hesitation to bring a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, strap them in, let them go. It'd be fun.
Absolutely.
We still got a few other things we're going to try to do while we're here, but I had a buddy that's still in Waco said, hey, we might come back up in 2 weeks. I said, me and my wife are in. That's the truth.
Great.
So,
what do you think about the town of Moab and the dining scene here?
Well, first of all, the town of Moab is great. They have treated us all really well. The dining is phenomenal. It's everywhere we've eaten. The food has been great. It's way too much food you know, so we split our meals because it just can't eat it all. And I hate wasting food. But I don't think we have eaten a bad meal yet.
Nope.
The restaurants are amazing, and like I said, the people. If you're minding your manners and doing what you're supposed to do, the cops don't hassle you. You can ride your Can-Ams or side-by-sides through town. Just act accordingly, obey all the traffic laws, and they don't even look your way. That's really what impressed us. We can just go where we want these things.
Do you remember some of the names of the restaurants you like the best?
Yes, we do. Cactus Jack's,
Moab
Moab Brewery.
Brewery.
What was the other one? The pizza place.
Was it Canyon Pizza?
Canyon Pizza. And the food trucks were great. And it's way too much food. And I don't hate saying that because if they cut back, I'm in trouble. But they do. They really feed you. And everywhere we've been so far, everybody's just been real courteous, polite. They ask them about the trails or ask them about somewhere you want to go, or everybody's real helpful.
Awesome.
So,
Great. Thanks so much,
no,
guys.
thank you. Hey,
Yeah, that's okay. So there you have it, Moab. I love how that guy talks. So as you can see, people get really excited about the town, and how awesome the dining scene is there, and you can't go wrong. It's like they used to have a Village Inn, and the Village Inn could not compete against the local restaurants. It just couldn't. It was nowhere near as good. So you just have this really great wide assortment of restaurants to choose from, and then as far as again with the UTVs and the 4x4 vehicles, I don't personally know tons about those things because, like he said, you can either choose to work and get on a bike or hike, which we're still in the phase of our life where we want to do that. And, even if you don't, like the interview we did last week, and you're fit and you got a bunch of kids, you want to make your life a little bit easier, go rent out these vehicles and rent some electric bikes. You can rent the powerful motorized bikes. You can rent all sorts of different UTVs. And I think the world has to know Moab embraces both the people who want to just take their bikes or walk on trails, as well as the people who want to be on recreational vehicles, who want that ease and comfort to be able to take a cooler on the back and drink water or a beer along the way. And that's kind of been a little bit of a tension between those two communities, because obviously the people who are more interested in motorized vehicles are typically your folks who might not have quite the consciousness or awareness of the environment. But the more I talk to those people and get to know them, the more I find they do appreciate the environment, the trails. They want to preserve the trails. They want to preserve the pristine environment. That was just a couple of comments we got on my promoting those types of vehicles. Is you're all about promoting the preservation of the environment. Why should you be pro UTV? Because you can have it both ways. You don't have to hermetically seal off land from people on their vehicles to have that land be beautiful and pristine. I think quite the contrary. People just have to be aware that they need to tread lightly. They need to stay on the trails. And so whether you're on foot or you are on a vehicle, that's something to definitely be aware of while you're down there. And same thing with your dogs. Clean up after your dogs. Take your doggy bags with you to make sure you take plenty of water, and go out and enjoy Moab. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Utah Stories. My name's Rich Markosian. This is our magazine. I really want to promote subscription to this magazine. I really want to thank everybody who's subscribed already. It's just $5 a month, and you become a member of the website. You get all access to all of our content behind the paywall, as well as the magazine in print form. And then you also get Faces of Utah magazine quarterly, which is a Utah local business success guide and how to find the very best local businesses for your home, for high-end restaurants, for basically people who've done amazing things in business in Utah. So you're going to want to check that out. And if you like this content, please give us a thumbs up, share this with a friend, follow us on Instagram. That's our main platform, but also give our channel a follow and hit the bell notification icon so you know when we come out with good new videos. But I'd say if you really want to be a part of the community, check out utahstories.com. You can become a free digital subscriber to our content first, and then a paid subscriber if you like what you see. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.